Royal weddings are usually sold to us as fairy tales, glittering gowns, grand carriages, and happily ever afters. But sometimes the story isn't so picture perfect. These aren't your usual happily ever after moments. They're the ones that had the press buzzing, the public divided, and in some cases, even changed royal history. So, let's dive into the top 10 most controversial royal weddings. Prince Carl Philip and Sofia Christina Hellqvist, 2015. Prince Carl Philip of Sweden's 2015 wedding to Sofia Hellqvist was nothing short of a royal headline magnet. Before becoming a princess, Sofia was a glamour model and even appeared on a reality TV show, which instantly stirred whispers about whether she was fit for royal life. The Swedish press had a field day digging up her past, from topless photo shoots to her wild party reputation, and many critics thought she was too scandalous to marry into royalty. But when the wedding day arrived, all eyes were on her stunning lace wedding gown and the genuine love between her and Carl Philip. The prince was unapologetically supportive, famously saying he fell in love with Sofia for who she really was, not her past. The dramatic mix of a commoner with a scandalous past marrying a prince made this wedding one of the most talked about in Europe. What began as controversy turned into a story of transformation and acceptance, proving love could break through royal tradition. Princess Mako and Kei Komuro, 2021. Princess Mako of Japan's 2021 wedding to Kei Komuro was one of the most dramatic royal sagas in recent history. What should have been a fairy tale romance quickly turned into years of controversy, with the Japanese media obsessed over Kei's mother's financial disputes. The backlash was so intense that Mako's wedding kept getting delayed, and by the time it finally happened, it was stripped of all the usual royal pomp and ceremony. There was no grand procession, no glittering banquet, just a quiet civil registration that shocked many in Japan. To make matters even more dramatic, Mako gave up her royal title and even turned down the $1.3 million allowance traditionally given to princesses who leave the imperial family. After the wedding, the couple moved to New York, starting a life far away from Japan's strict traditions. This marriage wasn't just a union of love, it became a symbol of rebellion against the pressure and scrutiny of imperial duty. Prince Albert II of Monaco and Charlene Wittstock, 2011. Prince Albert II of Monaco's 2011 wedding to South African swimmer Charlene Wittstock looked glamorous on the outside, but behind the palace walls it was pure drama. Just days before the wedding, rumors spread that Charlene had tried to flee Monaco 3 times after learning shocking allegations about Albert's private life, including claims of more secret children. The palace quickly denied everything, but the gossip refused to die down. When the grand day finally arrived, Charlene looked stunning in her custom Armani gown, yet her tearful and visibly tense expressions sparked endless speculation. Were they tears of joy or despair? The lavish 3-day celebration couldn't fully mask the whispers of a runaway bride story. Their wedding became infamous not just for its luxury, but for the cloud of scandal that hung over it, making it one of the most controversial royal unions of the century. King Felipe VI of Spain and Letizia Ortiz, 2004. When King Felipe VI of Spain married Letizia Ortiz in 2004, it was a royal wedding that stirred plenty of drama and debate. Letizia wasn't a traditional choice. She was a journalist, a divorcee, and someone with no aristocratic background, which shocked Spain's old-school royalists. Many questioned whether a future queen with such a modern past could fit into the rigid traditions of the Spanish crown. The controversy only grew when it was revealed she had once been married in a civil ceremony, something the Catholic Church frowned upon. Despite all the noise, the wedding itself was a dazzling event in Madrid, with Letizia walking down the aisle in a stunning gown by Manuel Pertegaz. Felipe's love for her was clear, and he stood firm against the critics, showing he wanted a partner of his own choosing, not one picked by tradition. Their marriage was a turning point, symbolizing how even monarchies had to bend with the times. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, 2018. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's 2018 wedding at Windsor Castle was a global spectacle, but it quickly became one of the most controversial royal weddings in modern times. Meghan, an American actress, divorcee, and biracial woman, represented a major break from centuries of royal tradition, and not everyone in Britain welcomed her with open arms. While the ceremony itself was magical, filled with modern touches like a gospel choir and a passionate sermon by Bishop Michael Curry, the drama behind the scenes was hard to ignore. Rumors swirled about family tensions, from Meghan's estranged relatives causing chaos in the media to whispers of feuds within the royal household. What started as a fairy tale moment turned into years of controversy, with the couple eventually stepping back from royal duties in 2020. Their wedding now feels like the glittering beginning of a storm that changed the monarchy forever. Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong Jones, 1960. Princess Margaret's 1960 wedding to Anthony Armstrong Jones was glamorous, historic, and dripping with controversy. For starters, Margaret had once been deeply in love with group captain Peter Townsend, but her romance with him ended in scandal when she was forbidden to marry a divorced man. So when she shocked everyone by announcing her engagement to Anthony, a commoner, society photographer, and someone completely outside the aristocratic world, it was already headline news. Their Westminster Abbey wedding was the first royal wedding ever broadcast on television, drawing millions of viewers. But behind the fairy tale, whispers swirled about their fiery personalities and rocky relationship. Many thought Margaret had married Anthony more out of rebellion than true love. Though the day itself was dazzling, their marriage soon became infamous for affairs, scandals, and bitter fights, making this wedding one of the most controversial in royal history. Prince Friso of Orange-Nassau and Princess Mabel of Orange, 2004. Prince Friso of Orange-Nassau's 2004 wedding to Mabel Wisses-Smit was a royal love story wrapped in major controversy. Mabel, a smart and accomplished human rights activist, had a past connection that shook the Dutch monarchy. She was accused of hiding the extent of her friendship with a notorious drug lord in her younger years. When this came to light, the Dutch government refused to give official approval for the marriage, which meant Friso had to give up his right to the throne in order to marry her. Their wedding in Delft was elegant but noticeably quieter than other royal weddings, with an air of defiance hanging over it. To many, it was shocking that a prince would sacrifice his royal status for love, while others admired the couple's courage to put their relationship above duty. This wasn't just a wedding, it was a bold choice that redefined what love meant inside a royal family. King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima, 2002. King Willem Alexander's 2002 wedding to Maxima Zorregieta was dazzling, romantic, and deeply controversial. Maxima, a beautiful and charismatic investment banker from Argentina, won hearts quickly, but her father's past cast a long shadow. Jorge Zorregieta had served as a minister during Argentina's military dictatorship, a regime tied to human rights abuses, and this connection stirred outrage in the Netherlands. The Dutch government allowed the marriage but barred Maxima's father from attending, a decision that added tension to the fairy tale day. Still, Maxima charmed the Dutch public with her warmth and grace, famously tearing up during the ceremony when a piece of Argentine music was played in her honor. Despite the storm around them, the couple's wedding turned into a moment of love triumphing over politics, though it remains one of the most talked about royal weddings of the 21st century. Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles, 2005. Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles' 2005 wedding was one of the most controversial moments in British royal history. For decades, Camilla had been painted as the other woman in Charles and Diana's marriage, and many blamed her for the heartbreak of the beloved Princess of Wales. So when Charles finally married Camilla after years of scandal, the public reaction was deeply divided. The ceremony itself was toned down, a civil service in Windsor rather than a grand church wedding, followed by a blessing at St. George's Chapel. Queen Elizabeth II herself skipped the civil ceremony, which only fueled the gossip. Still, the couple's quiet happiness shone through, and over time Camilla worked to win public acceptance. But in 2005, their wedding wasn't just a love story. It was the finale of one of the most dramatic royal scandals of the 20th century. King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson, 1937. The 1937 wedding of King Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson is probably the most controversial royal wedding of all time. Edward, the King of England, fell in love with Wallis, an American divorcee, at a time when the Church of England forbade royals from marrying divorcees with living ex-spouses. The scandal shook the monarchy to its core. Edward was forced to choose between the crown and the woman he loved. In the end, he abdicated the throne, giving up the title of king to marry Wallis, and his younger brother became King George VI, the father of Queen Elizabeth II. To many, it was seen as a disgrace. To others, it was the ultimate act of love. This marriage didn't just spark gossip, it literally changed the course of British history. And that's our list of the most controversial royal weddings. Proof that even in castles and cathedrals, drama always finds a way. Which of these weddings shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more royal scandals, love stories, and history you won't want to miss.